baby. It's your boy 3 Dog. Look at that. It's Shaka Bean and Mafioso, the Dun Dotted Coated Ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, a.k.a. Shaka Black, a.k.a. Shaka Bean, a.k.a. Shaka Flame. Listen, bro. We finna get into a new type of reaction video, you know what I'm saying? I guess they got the last of the line Aston Martin V12 manual son of Victor. We finna get into it. It looks like a bad boy. We need to see what this car is looking like, man, because in the age of electric cars that look like Hondas, all the electric cars look like Hondas. A few of them don't look like Hondas, or a few of them don't look like Toyotas, but for the most part, they look like overpriced Priuses. Let's see what the last of the gas-powered cars. Let's see how they're going to go out with a bang. Let's see how they're going to go out with a bang, man.
For the car of buying a
Let's see this.
Time that we won't do again because we can't pair this engine gearbox.
I like that.
Sad, isn't it, that really?
It is.
But
the end of Aston Martin.
The more poignant the special.
It does indeed.
That's crazy.
And I think that's what the collectors that buy this car will be buying into.
Yeah, collectors buying the car sound like it's gonna be worth M. Ooh wee! That music loud as dog shit. Like a donkey. Hey, that's a beautiful little front. Oh, you know that car gonna be over 30. No. I was gonna say 30 million, but okay. I got scared for a minute.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, that's a beautiful car.
Well, it is literally like.
It looks kind of like a Genesis, though.
What's its platform then?
So it's not the same wheelbase as anything else. It's longer than Vantage, slightly shorter than DB11.
So it's a sort of custom size then.
Yeah,
it looks like a Vantage. Is this a
front
Vantage?
And rear than those two cars, so than Vantage and DB11.
It is wild, isn't it? We'll save the interior because the interior is.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Aston Martin ever since 007 dropped in Aston Martin, I always wanted one.
What is the engine?
So, 5.2 litre twin turbo V12.
Okay, all right.
600 horsepower.
715 PS and over 750 Newton meters.
Okay, wow. So obviously it's taken a lot of inherent styling cues from Victor. That is part of its plan, right? It's a sort of junior Victor experience.
For sure. Victor was.
It looked kind of like a Mustang in the front.
We did a one-off customer commission.
Like the old school Mustang,
incredible.
like a 60s
so,
Mustang.
We had a lot of people in touch with the brand saying, what else can you do? Can you build something else in that kind of stuff?
I should review these ugly ass electric cars because I know China coming with them electric cars,
but with a very
way better than what we see.
On it. We had the V8 Vantage in the 80s, plus a race car from the track called the Muncher. Ferocious.
I like
race
the rims
car,
on that.
Kind of muscle car
big
styling.
Ass brake calipers on
but
it.
It had these.
I like the little grills, carbon fiber grills,
lights, and this huge body
carbon fiber side skirt. Okay.
Front. So a lot of the inspiration from there.
Wide body is beautiful.
With the transmission choice.
That's a beautiful ass car.
We wanted to bring this to the street now. It's a real kind of celebration of analog driving.
So where has the gearbox come from?
As you know, we had a 7-speed dogleg gearbox.
Yes.
Dogleg gearbox.
Previously in the Vantage. Wasn't really the right gearbox for this application.
Man, these youngsters don't know how to ride manual no more.
We went away and developed.
These youngsters don't know how to ride a manual.
Gearbox, which is really slick shifting, really positive action. Obviously, everything uprated to take the power and the torque, but it's an incredible transmission. It's really engaging, really chunky, proper kind of.
I want to hear it start up
because
that V12 should be sounding loud.
So soon, but when can I drive this thing?
2028.
Soon,
yeah,
really?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've revealed it now because it's 110 years of Aston Martin.
110 years of Aston Martin coming to an end.
We wanted to reveal it this year in the anniversary, but then put it straight into production. So it goes into production in the 4th quarter. We've done all the development work, all the mule work, and the prototypes. So yeah, across the summer you can.
That's cold-blooded.
Drive the car.
You've just heard that. I'm gonna.
We're finna be driving cars.
Right, talk to me about cooling because there's a lot of engine in there.
Yeah. Yeah, hence
all of them quiet,
cutouts in the top.
All of them controlled. You try to speed away from the cops.
Cutouts in the top.
Try to do speed, and it's gonna snitch on you. Lock the doors and make sure you get arrested.
And over the rads.
So let's have a toast.
The front end, of course, is
to the last of cars that don't control themselves.
Extended grille, unusually in Aston, we always have a metal grille always. In the outer edges here, we've got this mesh. Again for cooling through the V12. So there's a lot of cooling needs to happen. It really
Open
is
the hood.
there, and obviously tuned up to 7.
Open the hood. Let's see how that looks.
It's a lot of power as well.
Sure. When we were talking about DB12, there was a lot of chat about new suspension components and advanced traction control. Is this almost the opposite end of that, in that because it's manual rear-wheel drive and probably designed to hoon?
Yeah.
It's all about traction.
At least it's not front-wheel drive.
Not quite.
Even though there's some bad
we put a lot of
JDMs
the
that's
learnings
front-wheel drive.
generally in our tuning at the moment.
But not at
since
Aston
you drove DBS 770 as well. The
Too
old
bad
one.
James Bond
Yeah,
died in the
and
last
so
movie
all of
because he
those
won't be driving
technologies and
this.
approaches are in here, so we've taken out a lot of the compliance in the steering rack, so you get a lot of feel through.
My
the
name
column.
is
It does
Bond.
run the Michelin PS5,
James
so
Bond.
it's got the very latest tyre in the AML compound, so plenty of grip. But equally, what we've done with the traction system is
Man, that
allow
car
it to
screams too expensive.
rotate nicely in corners, break a bit of traction. Obviously, you know, that's twice as fun when you're
Mercedes
in a
got the
manual
best
because
race
you kind
cars.
of
Sure.
manage
Shout
the
out to
car
Lewis
with
Hamilton.
both feet and your hand as well. So it's kind of, there's a lot of fun to be had off centre.
I'm assuming it's coming on carbons as standard.
Yes.
In terms of options, it's more of colours and materials, really, is it? It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, the car is as is. So the power level, the carbon brakes,
Damn, that's a
everything else,
beautiful
we
ass
wanted
car.
the car to be right as it was. But each car will be a commission with hue by Aston Martin. So each client comes to the studio, meets with the design team, and then commissions the
Each
execution.
client comes to the studio and meets with the design team.
Have you experienced the development car?
It's going to be
Go
Bugatti
on.
prices.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's
Rolls
mega.
Royce
It's
does
absolutely
that.
incredible.
Yeah.
What we wanted was something, we talked about this phrase, like putting the V12 in your hand.
Hey, but
So
y'all
many cars
manifest
now
that.
are really,
Anybody-
really powerful,
listen,
but
y'all.
almost.
Anybody watching this, man, you can do anything you put your mind to, man. Never give up, man. Manifest and obsess on all your goals until it becomes reality. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for that motivation, baby.
Kind of anesthetized that, you know, you can control the
Get
power as well,
motivated
you can
with the
travel
boy
at high
Shaka.
speed, there's no drama. Here what we wanted was every gear change was an event, and so it's fun from really low speed. It's incredibly rapid in gear,
Right.
but that satisfaction of making the transition second to third, third to fourth, and
Yeah.
really nailing the gear change was something that
I wanna
we
see him
we
run
really,
them,
really focused on. So
All that
it's got
body
a great
is
level
beautiful.
of drivability, so low speed clutch control's fine. You know, we want it to be used. We want it to be used every day. So it's not
Sure.
it's not horrible to drive at low speed. It's really nicely balanced. But at speed
Damn,
is
we
when
just
it comes
gonna look
live.
at it
You know,
all
think
day?
about kind of a nice B road, A road where you're flowing between corners and going up and down the box. It's
If I bought a car that
This is the kind
expensive,
of
you
chat
think
the
I'm going to race
automotive
it?
industry needs more often. Everything he's just said there, bottle it up. Put
It's
it
a
into
beautiful
digital
ass car,
space.
though.
That would be excellent. So ratios of the box, is it sort of bespoke and custom to the experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a relatively short final drive,
Okay.
but it's quite a compact box. It's quite snick snack as you go through. Makes a
Snick
nice
snack.
sound. Obviously, it's open.
What the
gated
hell
as
is a
well, so
snick
with that
snack
kind of
box?
Mechanical view through the box, but it feels very tight, very modern in its execution. Even though the theory of the car is kind of taking it back a little bit more analog. What you get, you know, in your hand is something very modern, very crisp.
Let's
and
see that
easy.
interior, baby.
I'm unaware of a car over the last 5 years that caused a stir quite like Victor did.
Yeah.
So the fact that this thing exists is highly cool.
I'm thinking,
You
what
guys
do
seem
I
to be
got to
taking
learn?
the
What books do
diffuser
I
thing
got to
going
read to get
11
something
with
like
it
this?
these days.
For real.
Yeah.
There's diffusers and then there's this thing. Look at that. Wow. Triple exit exhaust.
That's something the
Yeah,
Strad man
so
to have.
there's a lot of work going on at the back here. I mean, it's a huge diffuser, as you say, but equally,
What happened, y'all?
there's quite a big kind of gurney off the top here, this kind of lip. We wanted an integrated design without additional wings or kind of active aero that spoilt the lines. Diffusers are really getting air quickly out from underneath the car, pulling it down, and then equally on the top, you've got downforce. And allied to that is the rear screen has been replaced with.
That's a beautiful ass
aero feature.
lover.
So you've installed a camera here.
I've been saying
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
a lot. I need to
In
think
lieu
of a better
that
word,
rearview
a more
mirror.
exquisite
Yes,
word.
And then obviously the
That's
high-mounted stop lamp as
sophisticatedly
well.
With it being a
elegant ass
small,
lover.
production run, has that allowed you any flexibility in the characteristics of the exhaust tone?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Okay.
it's obviously a triple pipe.
Okay.
It's a straight cut.
Damn,
Most
three
sports cars
mufflers on the back?
Incredibly
Three
loud,
exhaust
as you
tips?
would expect.
Exhaust pipes?
Spits flames as well.
Okay.
Which
It
is very
spits
cool.
flames.
All right.
It's
It
just
spits
a
flames.
reaction of having.
If I pay that
an
much
open
money, I
free
needed to
flow
not
exhaust
catch on
system
fire.
on the car.
Like a
again,
Lambo.
Part of that raw experience, part of that kind of. Equally, you've got some higher tech features like the stop lamp technology, these kind of blades from Valkyrie and Valhalla. as
Oh, I
well.
like
So
that.
This is that mix that we're trying to bring of the modernity. It's a modern Aston, but it's done definitely in the style of something
Okay.
from our heritage.
So even though it's based on I'm assuming the Turbo V12 from DBS.
Yes.
You've managed to make it flame and sound pretty spicy.
Yeah, in
And you gonna
DBS,
turn
it's,
it up?
we call it the
Turn it
brilliance.
on?
It's kind of there's a refinement role there as well. Here it's raw.
This is just the brute, no soup.
Absolutely. It's
Hey,
just
man.
the brute.
Phenomenal.
Y'all be
What a
worried
thing.
about
I
them
mean, sculpturally
Hellcats, man.
incredible, isn't it?
Something
The whole
like
body
this.
is made out of carbon fiber.
Way
So
better than
that
the
allows you to
Hellcat
be
or a
really
Red Eye.
precise and very intricate.
Get your
with the forms,
sophistication up,
when you're
practice some
working with
decorum.
carbon. So it's a very detailed body, and obviously that reduces a bit of mass on the car as well.
Okay. And the interior is kind of boring, bro. I don't think I like that color in the plaid looking interior. I don't like plaid on seats.
Crikey, that's an interior, isn't it?
Crikey, mate!
I think one of the
shout out to Steve
defining features
Irwin,
of
man.
Victor was
R.I.P.
the interior styling. This has trickled through really well, hasn't it? How
Yeah.
much fun did you
Okay.
have making that? Wow.
This is obviously the centerpiece. It's the hero of the interior. That's what you're here for.
I mean,
Oh, I like
it's
that.
open-gated
That
and
screams
it's
old man.
no-gated.
Old man with
Yeah.
some money.
That is quite something.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming with the architecture it's built on, the infotainment system is previous gen,
It is, yeah.
but you
can see
do
that.
have updated screens.
Yeah, new screen, just for better clarity,
Mm-hmm.
and again on the driver information display.
Talk to me about this then, in terms of when you're starting to develop the ethos of a car and what this thing allows you to do. Did you start with like a blank sheet of paper and go, this is how we want it to drive? Or did you give the platform to the team and go, come back to us?
The
with
best
something
looking
fairly
for, I mean, car
Well,
now
the
is
brief
the
was
the
clear.
Ferrari.
It wasn't necessarily pick this gearbox or that one.
Ferrari
What
SF90.
was it has to be raw and engaging, but it also has to be slick and modern. There are still a small number of manual gearboxes out there that are available in performance cars. So there are benchmarks, and you do need to be technically very advanced as well. You can't be complacent on that. The brief was that, raw, but with a level of sophistication, and that's why when we drove the mules, we tried a couple of different boxes actually in the original phase, and we came back to, we wanted a 6-speed. It had enough ratios. There was no need to go further. But also, Victor had a 6-speed, and whilst we couldn't use that exact configurational box because of the level of torque, this has much more torque than that car.
They got
We
that
wanted to
car
evolve
right
that.
next to
So
some
that's what we
couches
went
and
for.
stuff. You know that
And from the
motherfucker.
first drive, once that was installed, it was incredible. We all went out in a highly disguised mule, actually across Warwickshire. It wasn't
really?
anywhere foreign and exciting.
So good.
But
I've
then
only
the
seen a
car
few
was
Aston
done most
Martins in the
development work
US,
as ever
just a
over
few.
in
I seen
Spain
somebody with
for
a
the testing and everything
Yes.
else. So
a nice
it was
ass
immediately
DB12, I want to say,
drivable, like nothing else. in
and
the
he took
range.
it through the
And then
Mr.
just
Car
have
Wash
this V12 in the end at the top here,
machine,
which
like the
is
automatic.
really exciting.
The automatic car
me
wash. I had to tell him,
the
dude,
transmission comes
you gonna
from
fuck
there.
up the
This is
paint
such
on this
good
car,
news.
bro. Why are you
This is
taking
the other
it
bit.
through? Get it
With
hand
the open
washed.
gate.
Cool.
This is the other thing that we
This needs to be
talked
hand
about.
washed.
This we
Right.
sort of balancing that sophistication with
He was a
rawness,
neurosurgeon.
and is it in driver intent and is it design intent? And in the end, we were like, this is absolutely what it's about. You can call the cabin back down if you want, but
You can fill it back with some heat.
yeah, it's just great. You drive through a section, you go back for a gear, and you feel that warmth coming out through the gator, and it reminds you, the car's alive, it's working, it's breathing with you.
It's
really
alive.
exciting.
Perfect.
The height of the gear stick, we debated a lot about,
Sure.
where to
Yeah.
put it, and it can look quite prominent from some angles, but it's ergonomically, it's perfect.
Yes, you can kind of feel it as soon as you're there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's right there for you,
It's
isn't
exactly
it?
where you want to go.
Interior.
That's a bad boy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that plaid though.
Yeah, new. So again, bit of fun, but we wanted to play with some of the history of the company and combine it with the modern, with the carbon fibre and so on. So
That screams New England.
Tweed is from Elgin in Scotland, which is
Scottish.
both a supplier and a kind of traditional material we've used throughout our history, right back to DBR1. In '59 that had.
I know the car
Tweed
vet's
on
gonna
it,
be like,
used
dude,
back
that's
then
a
as, it's hard
traditional
wearing,
interior
but
of the
course
car, dude.
It lends a kind of completely different look and style to it. Particularly fun pairing it with a full carbon fibre race seat. And it depends. Clients can take a whole different choice of tweeds if they want. Have a suit made to match if they wanted as well. But equally, people can put leather or Alcantara in the car if they want something more modern. Completely unique
Different experience.
And it's a combination. We'll never do again because this is the end of the platform effectively. So the reason this car's special, the reason we wanted the 110.
What they mean into the
clients who come
platform?
into the car are buying a moment in time that we won't do again because we can't pair this engine, gearbox, and so on together.
Sad, isn't it? That really.
It is.
But equally, it makes.
What
it
they
all
going
the
electric
more
or something like that?
Poignant and special.
It does indeed, yeah. And
Yeah.
I
They're
think
going
that's
electric?
what the collectors that buy this car will be I'll be buying into.
Brilliant.
Beautiful car. I mean, exquisitely, sophisticatedly, exuberant, elegantly, smashing. It's elegantly smashing.
Right.
How's things?
Yeah, good.
Looks like you've been having a lot of fun.
I wish they would have started it up. It got a V12 and they not starting it up.
What's the
It's
thing?
just
How
a
long
bit
is this shit?
unleashed.
Did you have to get Victor back in the studio at all, or did you just have it in your...
No, we
Oh, no,
went
we ain't
and-
watching
we went
this
and had a
whole
look
thing.
at it at one point just to sort of get our heads around it.
Oh, we could watch the
We
whole
knew it
thing.
fairly well in the first place, but it's always
25
better
minutes.
when cars live in
I'm
the
had to
flesh
watch that
and
45-minute,
reaction to them. So we did go and have a
Star
look.
Citizens.
But we also just went through all the old race cars and stuff like that, all the really oddities. And Alex mentioned the one that really resonated, which is Muncher, which was just
They got that
the
thing
V8
super
of that era
waxed.
was a beast anyway, and then you get to Muncher that was just wild, and it was just. I think we liked it because
I wish she had popped the hood.
showed the thinking of the time. You always had to rewire yourself from today, where everything has to be as slick as possible. And it was just like little things like this part on the side, this box vent on the side. You had to almost be more brutal than I would have flowed it in. And,
Sure.
But here you wanted to exaggerate all those things and just sort of make them stand out. And that sort of squareness, and it's not bulkiness because the car's lithe in the end, but the way it fills the corners of the car.
It is
something
kinda
of the
bulky.
era that in a way today we're always trying to like sculpt the corner of
Looks
the car
like a
massively.
shark.
What's it like sort of from a brain and team adapting to your design language day in, day out? As you've mentioned, it's
Yeah.
so flowing and sort of, almost an organic shape.
Yep.
And then you've got to go to step outside of that world and go boxy and old school. Like how is that from a...
We
process?
talked about it every day basically. You
Right.
had to keep in mind because there were even things like all the plan view shapes of the car and look at the side shape of the grille. It's like we used to call it the tidal wave. So actually it's got a shark nose, but it comes
I
back
said it
out.
looked like a shark.
This
Didn't I just
real
say that?
jaunty out front out here.
Yeah.
And again in the day they
gave it a
just when
shark
they made the
look.
front splitter, they
But it
just
looks
went,
too
"Right,
much like a
box.
Mustang.
We're just
Make
gonna
it big.
Make it big.
Yes.
And that was it. There was no sort of I'm going to do a CFD analysis for 6 weeks. It was like they just went for it.
But actually, in contrast to that, you also have some fairly trickery.
Yeah. So we
Man,
can't help
please pop
ourselves.
the hood.
Yeah, so things like this bridge wing on the front allowed us just to get that shape down, and it blends right into.
They must
the
not can
headlamp
really do
surface in
anything with
there.
the car,
So it's a
'cause they don't-
secondary read.
they don't
It's
own
like
the
a
car.
really modern,
They just designed it.
sophisticated aero thing, but you wouldn't.
No.
On first read, it's not there.
I'm
like
assuming
that carbon
these
fiber
headlamps
grille.
Then these aren't off anything.
No.
This is a
No,
bespoke
so all
thing
the
for this.
lamps on the car unique to the car. So again, this car's a inside and out. This wonderful mix between all
Okay.
carbon fibre body lamps developed for a hypercar, mixed with 70s, 80s brutalism.
For anyone unfamiliar, can you provide a top line as to why making your own lamping is a really big deal? Because it's actually a massive pain, isn't it?
Yeah, but basically the rules, whether you're low volume or high volume, the rules, the tooling required is identical. So
They
the
not
investment
powering
is
this car
enormous.
up at
We're
all.
making 110 of these.
Yes.
And you've got to be able to justify, work out the business case that these lamps are needed. And
110 is
That's-
ridiculous.
That's an expensive lamp.
Yes, per unit it's
okay.
a very expensive
Expensive
lamp.
lamp.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is the very intelligent system we have on the rear lamp because you're actually able to change the number of blades, the layout.
those are
of the
lights?
blade. Took a while to develop it that you can reconfigure it, but it allows us to do cars.
Oh, that's
like this
sick. That's
very
sick.
well.
Right, talk to me about the sill.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
got like a
Good still,
aquatic,
isn't it? It is. It's
aquatic
so
predator fish
unapologetic.
look to the
It's a
car,
continent, isn't
Yeah,
it? I mean,
yeah.
like a barracuda or something like that.
Actually, I think you probably get a better appreciation for when the doors open. Look at that! The size of this
Yeah.
thing. It is just hand for context. That is a substantial sill.
But it's like that all around the car. It's unapologetic. A sill is a sill. Just make it as wide as possible. Fill the, square the car up in every way.
So even though you've gone for sort of traditional, exaggerated, flatter surfaces, pretty much everything also has this contemporary twist of aero in it.
Yeah,
too,
all,
right?
all round diffuser, side sills, front has all got that. We've spent the last few years doing things like Valkyrie and Valhalla, and you can't unlearn some of the little bits and treatments that you have in there. So that's a wonderful mix. Same on the inside as well.
Hey, shout out to y'all if y'all watching
air
this with me,
vent
man.
there uses the same carbon 3D printed tech that we use in Valkyrie. Billet machined aluminium walnut and 3D printed carbon.
What an
all in one
environment.
little
It's so
space.
cool,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and of course tweed as well at the other end of the scale.
Yeah.
Tweed with carbon fibre.
Yeah. It was just an
Tweed.
amazing environment.
I kind of like the
I think
tweed
one of
interiors
the
actually. It
many
looks real
defining
comfortable.
characters of Victor was the
I wouldn't
interior
race it though.
in
I'll
terms
just
of
drive it
styling.
around.
Yeah.
But it's just like saddle.
I probably wouldn't even drive it around much.
Incredible.
Yeah, you got a little bit of saddle in here, so the door pull through there.
I wish
got
you
a
had popped
saddle
that
leather
trunk.
pull,
I mean,
bit of
popped that hood.
aluminium here for this part. Machined from solid.
So
so-
these are all one of one. Had to tool it specifically
Yeah,
for this
everything
car.
you see
101,
there.
101, 101.
Wow.
We mentioned it earlier, lighting was a really difficult
Right.
one, getting that
Okay.
all to work in the car, get it legal.
Okay.
Things like the exhaust, what we wanted, because everyone was just like, it's got to sound epic.
Yes.
You can't make a car like this and it doesn't sound epic.
Yeah.
So it was like pushing that and pushing
Exactly,
the limits
let's
of
hear how the
suppliers
fuck
and
it
what we could do,
sounds.
again, for 110 units.
How the
Yes.
flip it
Talk
sounds.
to me about this
Diffuser.
Hey, I
diffuser.
just
It's
found out in
kind of
Dubai, if you say the F word out loud, you could go to jail.
And then obviously there are design traits as you touched on.
Catch me in a great state of America, boy.
Vulcan come Valkyrie and
'Cause I like to do me some cursing.
Valhalla tail lamps. It's the same blade technology that we use in there. And obviously in here we've just sort of exaggerated and you've got this sort of vent out the back.
Yeah.
I
like
these
it a little
blades just slot through and come through there.
So the
And,
fans
there's
in the back
again,
are
mix of
brake lights.
languages because there's sort of this diffuser, which is sort of quite a modern thing, but there is a
Yeah, you shouldn't drive
brutality
this
to
one.
it
The
on purpose.
mechanic fees on
You
this
know,
one
as
is
you
going to cost so much
mentioned
money.
earlier, you come around the car, it's quite squared off corners, camtail above it, very, very clean, just the word mark and the wings on it. And that sort of contrast of technology and old school sort of meeting again. You know, that part there's the part across the back, the Brightway, is machined from solid.
Crikey, that is beautiful.
Crikey, mate!
And that's
What
the
a
sort,
thing.
and again, that's
Yeah.
the benefit of doing low volume is you can actually make sense to make those from CNC billet machined.
So talk to me about this cascading aero carbon here.
Yeah,
It's,
again, we were just like, you know,
beautiful shape.
it's when you're at low volume, you can just do things that normally
Right.
you can't get away with. So we just like, why do you need a rear screen? Actually, camera technology. Having driven, you know, we've got quite a few cars. We've done it for quite a few years, and actually, once you're used to it, it's really good. Actually, the vision out the back's even better. So
Yeah,
the
I
minute
don't
you
know
do
how
it,
you
think,
would
right,
see out
actually,
the
there's
back
a
of
second
that.
opportunity here. So we
Yes.
have this cascading aero, and the car is actually very, very, from an aero point, very good. I think the aero team weren't
Yes.
convinced that it was going to be at first.
Yeah.
But I think with all the tricks and everything that we played, you know, the side sills do work and things like this do work. So actually, from an aero stability, high speed stability, the team came back and were just like, actually, this is really good.
This is bang on.
This is really good. But you know, that's why camtails exist. You know, you read,
Right.
you know, watch
Sure.
the
Sound
story
like
of
you're saying
GT40 and
chemtrails.
everything in the
Yes.
camtail. Like, they
course.
work. They're good.
Box section arches then. Is this a functional component to sort of diffuse pressure out of the arch?
Yeah, so it's air off. So it's a model today. But if you see this, these blades run about this long
Oh, really?
and basically join onto the front of the arch. So they're basically depressurizing the front arch, taking lift out the front, and basically flow down the side. And they look cool.
And they look cool.
And they look cool.
They look really good. And
Oh, they have
the
actual
exterior
function
panels
and
are
not for
carbon.
Yeah,
aesthetics.
all carbon.
Wow. Does that help
He knew
when it
that
comes to
shit.
performance?
He knew it was all
In terms
carbon.
of-
My
From
bad,
that side, I
y'all.
love it. I mean, you can see, you know,
Cussing a lot.
I could make a bridge wing. You imagine trying to make this out of
Forget
pressed
it.
aluminium
Forget
or
it,
anything.
right?
You're like, you know,
Sure.
you can't do it.
Okay.
So it just allows you to push the limits
Okay.
always on body form.
to create shapes.
And
that-
so, and we do, and we take it. We've learned over 10, 15 years I've been here and using carbon fibre. We know to use those tricks because they're the bits that make the car
Sure.
special.
That's it. Right, speaking of special, let's hop inside. I'm going to swap sides
Are you?
now because I was
Okay.
in the
We already hopped inside, man.
Driver's
Turn it
area.
on.
So obviously, the thing
thing.
is this. Actual model's got a bit of movement in it.
Nah,
to
they
see-
milking the hell out of this. We
understand it.
seen the gear shift.
And it was,
already.
I think the project was quite interesting because very early on we had a prototype, and driving that, I mean, the thing's, you know, a little hooligan. And you know, there that third to fourth action, it's just like you come
that's
out of the car
nice.
going, okay, I've got a mental image what this car's going to be now.
Is that an unusual way of doing it? Like being able to feel what the car's ethos is and then going back?
It tends
The
to be.
studio.
Normally prototypes come later. It depends. It is slightly
Later.
unusual, yeah. So
Right.
that having that feeling early on was great. I think
I
it
bet.
helped form the project. Yeah. It was done for the prototype. We were all like, I like that a lot.
Let's keep that. Crikey. So all of
He
these. then,
keeps
these
saying
are all
crikey.
Yeah.
Billet,
Yep.
machine, single
Yeah.
pieces.
And you imagine this piece, we do left and right hand drive, so they actually
Oh,
are-
wow,
are
yeah, of
completely
course.
He said,
different machining
fetch
on
will
the
never
other
be a
side.
thing.
But because they're billet,
Yes.
you can do it. It costs
You can
no more.
swap it
to
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So have you made a shifter as iconic as that since DBS? Because that's got that sort of feel about it of like beautiful sculpture.
Yeah, no, probably not since DBS. I mean, Victor obviously takes its inspiration.
This is just a beautiful car,
Victor,
man. I
but
like
yeah,
Aston Martin.
DBS, Crichton's
I
head,
thought they were going to start it up and show us what it's talking
which
about.
was an interesting thing because it was, of course, boiling
It
hot.
doesn't
in the
look like
summer.
anybody can afford the gas.
Somehow
Yeah.
you loved it.
It just works.
It looked like they
all
could
that
afford the gas,
character
but they
that
can't
it
afford to
Yeah.
mess
and
anything
this
up
obviously
on
you
the
can
car.
get it in a
It's
number
gonna go
of
for
materials.
millions.
You can get it in walnut, carbon, aluminium,
Okay.
and always sort of with this completely spherical, perfectly fits your hand form.
There's just something about. I love the juxtaposition of this, just a piece of wood in the middle
Yeah,
of all this
yeah.
carbon.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. And then the saddlery continues.
Yes, so
extras.
bespoke extra luggage in the rear environment here, all saddle.
I will say the color of the leather
So,
doesn't match the rest of the interior. They went green with black leather. It's just
Yes, I mean,
don't
again,
know.
inside and outside. On the outside, we've done a very cool livery package. So you
But green
basically
is the
got
Aston
sort of
Martin
almost
colour,
a
so I get
building
it.
block system of these sort of the era style
Oh, wow,
graphics, and you
that's
can
cool.
basically place them all around the car. I think it's something like you can choose 4 or 5 and mix them all together, and then
So I get it.
of that you've got something like another 20 odd colour choices that you can do. So it will take a while to spec the car.
What a journey. Congratulations. Thanks
Thank
for showing us around. And that's all I'll say. Thank you.
all right. We're not gonna listen to that. Shout out to James Bond, man. They need to put that in 007, but 00 is dead, so I don't know what else to say. Let me see if that recorded right. Okay, that's the end of the video. Right. All right. 00 little hoe. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what y'all think about that, man? Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike. Tell me what you think about Aston Martin. Is it better than the Hellcat? Are you elevated and sophisticated and alligated and eloquated to drive a car like that? You know what I'm saying? Is Aston Martin your top 10? Do you watch James Bond? Y'all let me know, man. It's your boy Shaka Billionaire Mafioso, the Dun Dada Coldest Ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, a.k.a. Shaka Fuego, a.k.a. Shaka Black, a.k.a. Shaka Billionaire, a.k.a. Shaka Flame, a.k.a. 00S, a.k.a. Agent Flame, a.k.a. 009. Yes, sir, man. Y'all holla at me, man. I'm signing out. Peace.